A new study has warned that online searches for suicide have spiked. This following the release of Netflix's 13 Reasons Why series. The controversial show tells the story of a girl who commits suicide. It has generated concern among parents and psychologists in several countries who fear it could negatively influence teenagers.
Hey, it's Hannah. Hannah Baker. Settle in, because I'm about to tell you the story of my life. More specifically, why my life ended. And if you're listening to this tape, you're one of the reasons why.
In the US, two families blame the series for driving their children to suicide. We spoke to the father of a girl who hanged herself just before her 16th birthday. He says his daughter suffered from depression and the Netflix show pushed her over the edge.
The show acted as a, there's a word in psychology, it's called a trigger. That means that you react to something in your environment and it triggers a response within you. And it left my daughter feeling worse than she had before. This is not the way it's supposed to be. My daughter should be alive today. I should be able to hold her in my arms. I should be able to care for her. I should be able to hear her laugh. But now I can't. She's just gone. She's gone from me forever.
RT correspondent Kayla Maupin now gauging reaction to the recent study on the impact of this Netflix program.
19 days after the program was released, Google searches for suicide-related topics increased by more than 20%. That means roughly 900,000 to 1.5 million more than usual. From phrases like suicide hotline or teen suicide, or more worrying phrases like how to kill yourself, all of them are on the rise.
I've seen multiple psychiatric admission notes that have detailed the presenting problem of why the teen is there, being a couple of times them saying that they wanted to kill themselves in the way that the girl from 13 Reasons Why did.
Suicide prevention experts are warning that the show is kind of romanticizing suicide and unhealthy relationships, all of which could lead to copycat behavior among teenagers.
For teenagers who, in general, are still developing the ability to regulate their emotions and their desires, for those teens, and especially those who have already perhaps contemplated suicide, a series like 13 Reasons Why can be problematic.
Let's ask people how concerned they are. Are you a parent?
Yeah, I am a parent.
Now, would you allow your son or daughter to watch this new program?
With the company of a parents, why not?
If you put something into somebody's head and they already have that thought, it might be encouraging, but you can't control what people are going to do. They might hear it on the street. They might hear it in school. You know, you never know. I mean, just because they hear it from you doesn't mean it's your fault.
If you were a parent, would you allow your children to watch that show?
Absolutely, I would. Absolutely. Because I want them to experience what life is all about. The ups, the downs, the ugly, the good.
I reckon they should still show it, and I reckon that people should be able to handle those types of things being on TV, to be honest.
Okay. Are you a parent?
No, I'm not.
Now, if you were a parent, do you think you would allow your son or daughter to watch that show?
I reckon I'd have a different view if I was a parent.
The producers of these shows need to be socially and ethically responsible for what they're putting out. And at bare minimum, that means that before, if it's Netflix, for example, before and after each episode in the series, they need to put places for where they can get help, such as the Suicide Prevention Lifeline. They need to be doing that at a bare minimum so that if a vulnerable child gets triggered during the episode, that they know where they can go to turn for help.
We asked Netflix about the study's findings. It told us that the show was intended to promote discussion of a difficult subject matter. However, the father we spoke to told us there are other ways to highlight this issue.
I think that there are ways to show it. I think that there are ways that it can be done in a positive note, but never in a way that like this, never in a way that portrays it in such a dark and desperate situation. The fact is that Netflix does not care what the medical profession has to say. They don't care what educators have to say. They don't even care what parents have to say. All Netflix cares about is making money from this show. This is not acceptable, and this needs to stop. We still have a voice, as consumers or just as citizens, we have a voice and we do have power to make change.